Hey everybody, this is Ramon Ray, publisher of zoneofgenius.com, talking to my new friend Ian Mortimer, who heads the Golisano Institute for Business and Entrepreneurship. Ian, thanks for your time today. I appreciate it. Hope your family, hope who's important to you are well today.
Everyone's great.
Good. So Ian, right now, behind us, outside these glasses to my left, there's hundreds, as it were, a number of people filling your conference room, a part of the YEA Young Entrepreneur Academy, founded by our mutual friend Gail, going on for a number of years. Just help us understand YEA. These are chapters, I think, around the country, students coming together, learning entrepreneurship for a big thing that's happening tonight. Can you just recap that as best you can for us, where we're at today?
So Gail's Young Entrepreneur Academy program is it's I think 6 months, and so not only here in Rochester, but all over the country. She works with individuals who are in 8th to 12th grade who want to be founders. They have an idea, they have a kind of a vision for themselves, and her program walks them through the increment steps to essentially get to a level where someone would listen to a pitch. What are the big questions? What's the opportunity? What space in the market are they filling? And so her program is an amazing opportunity for high school students.
And I mean, I was intimidated just being there yesterday. I was like, the questions, I don't know if you feel that way, but the questions that were coming to me, I'm like, you're only 13 or you're 16 or whatever. I'm like, can I work for you one day?
Kids go to the bar, you set.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Tell us then where we're at. We're in an amazing building by Golisano Institute, which I know in the Rochester area and globally has an amazing name. So you feel free to start where you want. What's that name represent? What building are we in? What's the history of Mr. Golisano? Take us where you want, and we'll see where we land. But
great,
talk
awesome.
to us.
So Tom Golisano was the founder of Paychecks, and Tom has been an entrepreneur all his life. Not only has he been an incredibly successful business person, he's also a very generous philanthropist. And so Tom has given millions upon millions to hospitals, colleges, and universities. He's the single biggest funder to Special Olympics in the world. And so for many charities that focus on those with disabilities, Tom would be the Bill Gates of that world. So Tom also believes wholeheartedly in the power of entrepreneurship. And he looked around and he wanted to come up with a concept that would be faster in time, and he would fund the majority of the costs, but essentially a 2-year, 24-month business school that has a lot of the courses that a common MBA program would have, but really focused on entrepreneurship mindset, independence, building your own thing, and building that value not only for those who want to be founders, but also those who want to work for a company.
I love it.
He doesn't. I guess if he were here, he would say that he thinks there's more opportunities than there are people to fill them, and he wants essentially to have this institute be that mechanism to do it.
I love that. Let's talk about, and again, I want to get more to full-time entrepreneurship, but the role of entrepreneurship, I think is interesting. I was talking to our mutual friend, David Mamano. Hey, David. And just about all the students here in the YEA program, going back to that, most may not be full-time entrepreneurs. Most probably will not, which is, I think, my words, not yours, is okay.
Absolutely.
Can you just talk about that entrepreneurship or the mindset of entrepreneurship, please?
So our students go through 120 hours of entrepreneurial mindset coursework. And a lot of it is in here in the campus center. Some of it is out in the field through micro internships. And after Q3, we start seeing that students kind of veer one of two paths. They have the it that essentially we believe will allow them to at least have a chance at being a founder. Behaviors, attitudes, mindset, and then
risk taking,
losing
money and sleepless nights,
and understanding what that means.
Yes.
But that mindset for those who want to work for an employer partner is equally as valuable. And without exception, as our students came back for their micro internships, the knowledge was valuable, but the behaviors and attitudes that our students brought with them into the workplace, even only being here 3 quarters, was the big light bulb that a lot of them said, we want more of these types of individuals because we know that they're going to show up, they're going to work hard, and they're going to try and drive value within our organization.
You talked about behavior and attitudes, Ian. Can you talk more about that? What does that mean? Do you find, and again, my words, not yours, but I'm excited here. Do you find it kind of like military-ish? You take somebody who's maybe has a blank slate, and by the time they leave, they can learn a few good things. Talk more about that attitude. Mindset.
I mean, military is not an awful metaphor. I mean, it's not as severe as that.
Sure.
The way I describe it is that we're kind of a mash between the best run charter school that you've ever kind of stepped foot into and an MBA program.
I love it.
When you walk into a high-performing charter, people are dressed and ready to work. The culture is very positive. There's not a big bridge between the teachers and the students that kind of meet in the middle and work together. And that's kind of our ethos and our goal. Students have to dress business cash Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and then business formal on Wednesdays. And that's when employers come in and they have the opportunity to network and build rapport and hopefully find that next opportunity.
I love it.
The other thing is, as you walk around here, you'll notice that we don't have a big separation between our faculty and staff and our students. There's nowhere to hide. It's essentially a place where we all work together, and the best conversations are not scheduled. They just happen organically.
Well, like today, I mean,
Exactly right.
I was talking I just went to a table where I saw Golisano, nicely dressed people, your staff. I'm sure you know who they are. I don't know who they are.
Yeah.
Next thing I know, you get a tap. Heather,
Yeah.
another mutual friend of ours, just met her a few minutes ago, says, Ramon, how can I help? And here we are.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Well, case in point, there's the case study.
I love this. Can you give a for example? I don't need names unless you wish to, but
Yeah.
for example, so-and-so graduated high school. I assume you got to graduate high school.
They do, but let me clarify one thing, and this is another part of the magic here, is that of our 57 students, and we just launched in the fall.
Congratulations, and okay.
Yeah, thank you. And we did it in 9 months, very entrepreneurially focused. But it's a third, a third, a third. A third are right out of high school. A third already have bachelor's degrees.
Okay.
And a third have some college, no degree.
Okay.
And the average age is 28. So it's an environment that is very multi-generational. We have very poor students. We have very rich students. We have students coming from out of town. We have local students. And in the classroom, students sit in pods and they work in groups. And the thing that I love about our mojo so far is that when you look, you'll see a 55-year-old individual who is coming here to kind of retool and reschool skill, sitting next to an 18-year-old. And they're working on the same work from different perspectives, and everyone can learn from each other. It builds empathy. It builds kind of a sense of community. And that's how employers hire people.
Yeah.
You don't get to choose who you work with.
Correct. Yeah, exactly right. A side note which makes me come to mind is that how do you deal with the person, if it happens, but just curious, Ian and I are working together in a pod, and I'm very quiet, reserved. I'm not talking much. Or Ian's 50 years old, I'm 20, so I'm automatically deferring to him, and you're trying to school me, but yet we're here at the Golisano. Just curious, how do you build in things like that? Because some could be good. It's good to have a mentor in the pod, but yet, what if they're trying to be the teacher? You get what I mean? How do you do all that?
We were just
stuff?
talking about Mr. Burns from Frisco, Texas. So Q1, we have a career development class. And so they go through a battery of tests to essentially not understand their strengths, but the strengths of others in the room. And so intentionally, it's not a look in the mirror. It's a glass into your peers and kind of how they communicate and their preference. Are they very detail oriented? Are they going to go there first? Or are they kind of big vision people? And we know that about each other out of the gate. And so that essentially kind of helps us be more empathetic to the perspective of those around us. The gentleman who, he's my age, he's 53, he's bought and sold 4 businesses. For him,
he's a mature guy. He knows how to brush his teeth. He's a cool guy.
Absolutely right. And from we were just talking about, from his perspective, what he's learning is the mindset of a millennial.
Okay.
Which is worth its weight in gold if he's going to be an effective leader.
And humble.
Exactly right. Yeah. Exactly right. Yeah.
Okay, I love this. And I wanted to ask you, can you talk about your background?
Yeah.
You're leading president president of the Golisano Institute.
Yeah.
Talk about your background, where you came from, and then I'll get back to this. But I just realized I'd love to know a bit more who you are.
Yeah, so I'm from this area. We moved around a lot, my wife and I. I'm 52, and
I'm 51.
Went to a lot of schools and got great educations. But my mom was an entrepreneur, kind of a grassroots antique dealer, and my dad was a social worker. And so I think those two perspectives have kind of given me a foundation of kind of where I'm at now. I worked in higher ed for about 30 years in companies and firms that drive higher ed productivity.
Which is a great blend, just to jump. Yeah. So to be here, higher ed, you have the academic background, but you know about business. So that's good.
Absolutely. Yeah, I had to cut my teeth and be responsible to a P&L myself. So Tom, when he was thinking about this, in the current state that we're in terms of, what do people need to be successful, and obviously the costs that go into it. I don't know of another example in the nation that a philanthropist is willing to subsidize 80% of a high quality education if a student is motivated, hardworking, and they want to contribute to the economy.
Yeah.
So it was a gift, and I think if you talk to any of our staff, they would say the same thing.
Yeah. Can you talk about the possible, again, I'm just based on headlines
There you
only,
go.
what the possible changing of corporate America to either, again, God bless, and there's so much role for the historical trades. We know that.
Yep.
Plumber, landscaper, whatever, generationally we get it, no degree. We also know, and again, feel free to correct
Please.
my hypothesis. We also know the get your 4-year degree or master's and or whatever and work, have a desk job, white collar, right?
Yep.
But I guess I don't even know how to ask what I'm asking. But this middle-ish, which Golisano Institute, and my question is there a changing in corporate America? Again, taking trades out, I think, right? Because landscaper, plumber,
Yeah.
other engineer, construction, a whole different path. You know,
Yeah.
you show up and they'll teach you. But is there a change? I want to apply work at Google or Wegmans, you know, in a senior. I don't want to just do bags.
Yep.
I don't want to be cashier. I want to be their AI person. I want to work in their HR. So my question is there a change in corporate America towards the 4-year traditional college degree?
I think there is, and you know, I spend way too much money sending my kids to very expensive bachelor's degree schools.
And which is okay, which is a choice.
Absolutely
There's
correct.
still choice.
Absolutely right. So the way that I would describe it is that I think the reality is that there's an incredible amount of underemployment for those who have college degrees. When you look at the landscape in terms of who is capturing a salary that is equitable to their education level, it typically falls in one of two camps. One is you've gone to a very prestigious, high brand, networked type of an environment, or you've
The
studied
network and the brand is one underlying, which is important.
absolutely
Two things,
correct. Or you've studied something that has a certification, a license to it, nurse, teacher, engineer. And then in the middle are individuals who study things that they're passionate about, but they don't translate well to a job that is going to value essentially that education level. And so our premise is that we think we can fit in well to people who know that they don't want to be an engineer, a nurse, a teacher, you know, something that has a license attached to it.
Yes.
They may not have the money or the ability out of the gate to go to Cornell or to go to, you know, pick your Michigan, pick your school. But those who just want to spend 2 years and focus on their own development, figure out who they are, and also get access to a high skills job, we hit that mark. And for those who want to get a bachelor's degree, schools like Syracuse accept our credits.
That's a bonus.
It's a huge bonus. Yeah.
Okay.
And so if you go to our program and you're successful, Syracuse will accept about 70% of that into their bachelor's degree.
Add 2 more. Ish.
It's 2.5.
Two,
this
okay,
year.
yeah, but yeah.
1.5 at Roberts
I
Wesleyan.
use ish quite a bit, you know.
Yeah,
Ish.
exactly. Yeah. It's sunny-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll help you a lot, Ian. If I can
Yeah,
teach anything to
thank
you,
you, yeah.
the word of ish.
I got it.
It's about $47 ish.
Yeah.
Could be 60, could be 70.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
No, but
And-
that's
and
good.
one
Please
more
go ahead.
point.
Yeah.
The cost for the 2 years, all technology, all books, all services, is $8,900 per year. Most of our students don't even pay that.
Wow, because they can apply for a grant or through the school or other
Tom,
local.
we just keep it really simple. If you qualify for free reduced lunch, we cut it in half.
Wow.
No, it's you know, we want to take the complexity out of this whole thing. And we can do that because of Tom.
I understand. I
Yeah.
understand. Talk another. And do you mind if I'm kind of
Please
going?
go, yeah.
And then we'll try to wrap up in 10 minutes or
No,
so.
no,
I could
this
go
is
here
great.
all day. And again, one more time, reintroduce who you are. We're talking to Ian. Give your full title, Ian. Where we're at, and the
Yep.
name, website
Ian,
too. All those things.
Ian Mortimer, president of the Golisano Institute for Business and Entrepreneurship here in Rochester, New York, at our brand new campus center.
I love it. Thank you so much. There has been. I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I love capitalism. There has been a stigma in some of those rich people, the transfer of wealth, and all these things. What I'm trying to get at, can you talk about the benefits of entrepreneurship, of creating wealth? When I see people like Tom, it's not somebody who I'm jealous of. I'm inspired by it.
That's right.
And I may not want to be a billionaire, millionaire. May not be my path. I may not be able to take the risk, but I am an entrepreneur. I've been blessed.
Yep.
So can you just talk to people about that aspect of, especially in America,
Yeah.
capitalism, entrepreneurship, high risk, high reward? Can you just, whatever's on your heart, speak to that aspect? And we have things like this today because somebody made great wealth and how they're distributing it. I think it's a beautiful story.
Thank you. Yeah.
Please.
If Tom were here, he would say something to the effect of, from his perspective, it's much better to have control over your own destiny than trust the judgment of someone else to control your destiny. And that comes alive in two ways. One, build your own thing, but two, to understand that you have a better chance of creating value within an organization if you're not just following the leader, but you're coming up with novel ideas, novel concepts, driving innovation, those are the people who are rewarded in organizations. Being good at your job, nothing wrong with it, it's good, but that doesn't get you to the next level. And so that's why the curriculum is set the way it is, and that's why we exist.
No, I love it. Can you talk about the future? Where is this because of the tight relationship? I don't know if it is scalable. At least the Golisano Institute. Will we see one in Atlanta or in Germany? Is this more of a model for others like Tom who could do it? Can you just talk about how do we get more of this? And I know there's many models of different types. There's nonprofits and all kind of things, but how do we?
It's a great
take
question.
you?
So the model is very human intensive, and so it doesn't scale very well.
Okay. Can't just hit a button and
No.
add some more chips.
And the reason is, because we talked about it, it's about the human part of this. It's not the content content's everywhere.
Yeah, that's right.
And so we're going to build this out, and we're going to be a steady state 400 students here in Rochester, and we're going to be as good as we possibly can be to deliver and make sure those 400 students have a tangible path of either one of three things: bachelor's degree completion, building your own thing, or adding value to a partner employer. Once we get close to that,
Meaning the goal will be 400 a semester, 400 every 2 years.
active
At the same
steady
time.
state. Yep.
Okay, go ahead.
Yep. I do think that once we prove success, there'll be other entrepreneurs, wealthy individuals in mostly mid-sized cities that will look at this and be like, yeah, I need to help grow our economy and produce 400 entrepreneurially minded people in my backyard.
And they'll need more Ians to lead it.
Yeah,
They'll need more Ramones, maybe to step in and be a teacher once a week or something
Absolutely,
like that.
yeah. The people behind me are the ones that make it happen.
Yes,
I
indeed.
just kind of facilitate.
Yes, which is important.
Yeah.
I love it. Anything else I didn't ask you, Ian, that you wanted to share today? Again, just to recap, we're talking with Ian, who leads the Golisano Institute, and really just talking about, I'm going to call it alternatives to college,
Yep.
but I think it's so much more than that, just to recap in case those who just forward into the middle of it. But anything I didn't ask you, Ian, that you wanted to share or talk about that I missed?
We also recognize that within 5 years, technology is going to continue to create new opportunities and to create challenges. And so we are carving out a part of our institute focusing on, and it's overused, but it's the truth, is our disruptive tech. Yeah. And so there's a local gentleman who has been very generous, and so we have an AI lab that should be opening up in the next 45 days. And our students can go in there, and they're not going to learn how to develop tools per se, but they'll understand kind of what the possibilities are that can be attached to their curiosities. So I'm interested in growing this services business or this product business or this. Where does artificial intelligence help become more efficient, more scalable? Maybe disrupt kind of the standard business process by exposure and getting their hands dirty in it.
I love it. And one thing, actually, thank you for that. One thing I wanted to follow up is that who is this school? And or if you had to dream 20 years from now, schools like this, who are they not for? I was just curious because I mentioned Army, the historical one. You're a bad kid, drunk, can't get up, can't make your bed, you're disrespectful to your mama. Send them to the Marines. 6 months later, they'll curse the heck out of you and turn you into a soldier. I suspect you're not quite like that.
No.
But Ish, could you tell us who is it not for? And then again, who's it for? If you get what I mean, the attitude. Who are you looking for? And who would you say, in a good way, maybe you should find some other ways, if you get what I'm asking.
So it's part of our launch, and we didn't want to make too many assumptions, being a new thing. But
entrepreneurial, you wanted to test.
Absolutely right.
I love it.
Absolutely right. And so our kind of stereotypical student, per se, from a psychographic perspective, is someone who can kind of see the truth without being overly distracted by peers, overly distracted by kind of what other people are saying. They have a sense of purpose in their life. Maybe they've gotten roughed up a little bit, either economically or whatever that looks like. And they have this kind of independent, pioneering thought process. And that doesn't mean that you're lower SES or higher SES. That's just kind of how you navigate the world.
I got it.
And that is
all mindset.
It is mindset.
Yeah.
And we take that and then we kind of pour kerosene on it.
I love it. It seems, Ian, like many the high school students,
Absolutely.
I think they all are. As we're talking, this discussion go right outside our door.
Yep.
I felt unclothed is the wrong word, but y'all people know I speak kind of weird sometimes. I felt humbled.
Yeah.
Just being with these young ladies and men.
Yeah.
I mean, rock stars from, I'm assuming, probably across backgrounds. So is that just echoing what you said?
Yeah.
Where you're at, how much money you have. We want to know what's inside your head.
People who can put the noise aside and In focus,
I
yeah.
love it.
Yeah. David Manos is rock star all
Come
the time.
on now. What a great way to end it. By the way, Ian Mortimer of Golisano Institute for Business and Entrepreneurship in Rochester. Thank you for joining me today on the Rundown with Ramon. What a great team you had, by the way, as well. Just right when I came in the door, I felt the energy, the
Well, thank you.
excitement from the table, and I appreciate your time with us today.
Great to be with you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.